right, good stuff. Up next, Agustin Ruelas from Brewjeria. Come on up to the stage. A freshly sanitized microphone. Fantastic. Well done.
Hello.
That's for everyone. One more time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Agustin Ruelas from Brewjeria Company. I'm one of the co-founders and co-owners. We actually opened in November 2019 in Pico Rivera, about 23 miles southeast of here. So Brewjeria is actually a Spanglish word, the English word of brew, obviously, and then brujeria in Spanish is actually witchcraft. So we kind of wanted to combine those words, make it easy for the consumer to see that it is a Latino-owned brand. And we are a Latino-owned business. We were started with family and friends. We target a very specific niche. So we do go towards Latinos, nonprofit professionals, socially conscious consumers, and just craft beer enthusiasts in general. So our logo is also one of those things where people ask, like, well, what is that, right? So for us, literally, it's looking the top view of a boiling batch of beer. So, but we did make it, intentionally kind of, weird and kind of, people ask questions about it. We always leave it up for interpretation. The most popular one is actually Joy Division's album, Unknown Pleasures. I don't know if people are familiar. But, that's part of what Brewjeria is. It's a swirling chemistry of ideas, language, culture, science, and spirituality intertwined in wonder and community. And why did we choose Pico Rivera? We wanted to be in a majority Latino community. If we had not bootstrapped this venture, we would have been probably closer to downtown because that's where we did all of our nonprofit events as we were coming up. But it is 90% Latino, and LA County as a whole is 48% Latino. So we do feel like putting out the brand out this way as a Latino brand, like we can certainly capture a good market. Sorry. So we have put out several beers. Over the last year, we did put out a series. We called it the Los Trabajadores series or the Workers series. We focused on worker justice, and so we actually brewed about over 40 barrels of beer over the last year. We are a very small brewery, only 5-barrel system, so we can only do so little at a time, and we were mobile canning too, so it was very cost prohibitive for us. But still, over the last year, we did sell over 40 barrels of this beer and actually donated over $10,000 to local nonprofits that work with these workers. All the labels have information about where that money was going, and for the most part, it was for pandemic relief because a lot of people were out of work last year. So that was part of our way of helping out the community. We are very hyper-local, so we know that, really the city of Pico Rivera is where we're focusing, but also the surrounding communities because they're also majority Latino, and there is a burgeoning craft scene in that area. It's just, in the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 soft openings of more Latino-owned breweries within 10 miles of us. We are very community-oriented. We've donated to over 40 nonprofits between 2015 and 2019. It was all nonprofit-based and homebrew. It was homebrew. Excuse me. And then also we've started doing some local distribution. So in order for us to do the mobile canning, we have to, produce so much or can so much so that we can actually make it work. So we have actually gotten into very small local craft beer stores, over 30 in the LA area, and actually in Orange County as well. And actually, as I speak right now, we are breaking in our very own canning line. So our goal is to now start moving out, branching out a little bit further. I mean, we are very LA specific for now, but hopefully with a new canning line and more bringing in salespeople, or probably myself doing it, we can maybe get a little bit further. But for us, Brewjeria is brewing quality ales with culture and community as key ingredients. Thank you.
Well done. Great job. Let's move over here. Yeah. Ryan, we heard a lot more, saw a lot more today. Hyperlocal is a word that I don't think we saw on the slide yesterday. Scaling hyperlocal, what do you think of the strategy outlined by Brewjeria?
Yeah, I love the strategy. I think hyperlocal makes so much sense. I think especially for beer being a perishable product, and I think the connections you are making and can make in the community, I think staying super local makes a lot of sense. I would encourage you not to go too far outside LA too quickly because this market is just so big and there's so much opportunity here. If you can tap just a fraction of that, the sky's the limit.
Thank you.
Veronica, aligning package with mission, with focus. Do you see it? Do you see it on for what's happening with Brewjeria?
Yeah, that's a question I have on when you go from people coming to your house and they know where you live, and so they're not questioning the brand. But if you're moving from there to retail, are there things you're thinking about in getting the brand Brewjeria more front and center, and also getting your cause marketing more communicative on the package?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we are working on that, right? Again, because of the pandemic is why we started packaging. That was not part of our plans for the first couple of years. So we were kind of pushed into it, and I mean, luckily we do have a very good graphic designer. And actually the labels for the Trabajadores was Lalo Alcaraz, who's a very famous Latino cartoonist. But yeah, we definitely, are still working on the labeling and really the brand itself. I mean, we're still very young.
Laura, it's outlined right here: brewing quality ales with culture and community as key ingredients. It's a great statement. Is that what your customers are looking for?
I absolutely loved your packaging, loved the messaging around it. Curious, are you going to focus on single serves? Are you going to potentially do a 12-pack where that messaging can really convey community and key ingredients? I mean, what is your plans for that?
I don't know. You know what? I mean, yeah, we just literally are starting up the canning line today. But it is a 16-ounce, so it's going to be 4 packs. I think just, building relationships, again, like nearby. I mean, yeah, only 30 stores in like a 15-mile radius. So yeah, it's definitely, building more relationships, getting the brand out there more, and really getting more people to come to our place so they can see it for themselves. Because it is very difficult to explain, like, what you see when you come to the brewery, especially even the people behind the bar, right? Like, it's not a typical look when you visit a brewery in LA, right? Or really most places.
Yeah, and a quick question. Like I said, I love the front of the packaging, but you chose to put your brewery name on the back, and I had a little difficult time trying to locate that. Where did it go? Why isn't it front and center? Is there some rationale behind that?
No. I wish our graphic designer was here. Honestly, I give him a lot of leeway.
Okay.
He's a great artist. He came to us before we ever opened our doors. But really, it's just about learning, right? So we really don't know how to do this yet, and we're trying to figure it out. So yeah, I do think that we need to be more front and center about, who we are.
Yeah, and the high ABV. I think one of them I tasted was an 8.2. So thank you for a good night's sleep. I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Malika, between the two presentations we heard, anything come up in this one that you had questions about, comments, concerns?
No new questions, but I think what it reinforced for me is how rooted and important community and the consumers you're talking to are. And as you think about expansion, even in this area, your consumers can be your advocates. They're your best marketing tool to really drive that conversation, to drive trial, to introduce the brand within their friends and neighbors. And I encourage you to really lean on that, because that can be a really powerful force for you.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic feedback. Thank you so much.